deal with airplane peanuts?
Roasts are officially back after the greatest roast of all time went down live on Netflix, which was 3 hours of pure, unfiltered comedy. And in this video, we are breaking down everything that happened, from all the best jokes.
Bert Kreischer is the king. He looks like if the Tiger King and the Liver King only ate Burger King and had a liver that looked like Martin Luther King got beat up by Rodney King.
Tom also lost $30 million in crypto. Tom, how did you fall for that? I mean, even Gronk was like, me know that not real money. Like...
To some of the biggest bombs, surprise guests, shocking moments, insane aftermath, and everything else you need to know about the roast of Tom Brady. It seemed like every famous athlete and comedian was in attendance at the LA Forum to witness the roast of Tom Brady. But on stage, the lineup in order and including surprise guests went Kevin Hart as host, then Jeff Ross, Drew Bledsoe, Nikki Glazer, Randy Moss, Kim Kardashian, Bert and Tom together, Sam J, Ron Burgundy, which was insane, Bill Belichick, Julian Edelman, Dana White doing 60 seconds of roasting under the Kill Tony format, then Tony Hinchcliffe himself, followed by Gronk, Andrew Schultz, Robert Kraft, Ben Affleck, Peyton Manning, and finally Tom Brady to close it out.
I know Kim was terrified to be here tonight, not because of this, but because her kids are home with their dad.
What made this event so great is that it was actually a roast. There hasn't been a true roast in a long time. One, because nobody's been ballsy enough to sit in the hot seat, with most celebrities constantly worrying about maintaining a perfect image online. But even when there has been roasts recently, you can tell even the roasters are worried about going too far or hurting people's feelings. That was not the case during the roast of Tom Brady. Netflix did a great job booking comedians they knew would go as hard as possible and not worry about their own image or Tom's. And most real football guys are great at talking anyway and have senses of humors that naturally align with the mission of a roast. However, agreeing to be on the panel takes a lot of confidence, knowing that a big part of roasts is viciously making fun of everyone involved. You can tell this event brought roasting back to the limelight just based on the amount of people talking about it who aren't typically into comedy. On par with other recent moments where comedy news leaked over into the mainstream, like Shane Gillis hosting SNL, Cat Williams on Club Shay Shay, and even The Slap. The only thing holding the roast of Tom Brady back from universal popularity is that the event was obviously geared more towards football fans than comedy fans. You definitely needed a base level of knowledge about Tom Brady's career to fully understand all of the inside jokes that only NFL fans would appreciate, like Alex Guerrero, Deflategate, Drew Bledsoe, and even one random stray shot at Antonio Cromartie. Personally, comedy and football are two of my favorite things in the entire world, and I hated the Patriots dynasty, so this whole thing was a dream come true.
I really sat there for 3 hours listening to people do comedy. That hasn't happened in forever. No. Shout out to the entire event, I think.
Kevin Hart did a great job as host, setting the tone right away with Giselle jokes and keeping the energy up for the entire 3-hour show. Tony Hinchcliffe, Nikki Glazer, Andrew Schultz, and Sam J were undoubtedly the top 4 performers of the night, with Tony being without question the best roaster on the dais, which is saying a lot because this lineup murdered all night long. And I'm not just talking about Jeff Ross as Roast J. Simpson. Outside of the comedians, Julian Edelman had some of the best writing and timing, Peyton Manning did super well, as did Drew Bledsoe, and Gronk was the butt of almost as many jokes as Brady. But when he got his turn behind the mic, Gronk let loose with one of the most electric performances of the night that had the audience laughing both at him and with him over the course of his 100% self-written set.
And the funny thing is, we're sitting up there on the stage and we can see the teleprompter, and Gronk was so far off script that we did not know if he was coming back.
Ron Burgundy not only showing up, but also bringing out Bill Belichick was insane. And apparently, all the surprise guests were kept a secret from Tom Brady.
Some of his former teammates and the comedians you got together to get Ron Burgundy introduce Bill Belichick was genius. I didn't see that one coming.
I don't think Tom did either.
So he didn't know, right? You kept him in the dark on everything, pretty much?
Kept him in the dark on a lot of the surprises, and he didn't hear anybody's jokes. And even though he was a producer on the show, show, it was all hands on deck for this one, and abided by the rules of the roast, which was basically anything goes, and surprised me.
Now for the biggest misses of the night, starting off with Ben Affleck, who went on one of the weirdest rants of all time about how unfair it is that Tom Brady has to deal with toxic haters and comments online, and how much better Tom is than all the random trolls hiding behind keyboards, which is basically the opposite of what you're supposed to do. Ben Affleck is literally the first guy to viciously defend the guest of honor at a roast since Dwight Schrute stood up for Michael Scott in Stress Relief Part 2.
How dare you all attack him like this?
No, stop it. That is
No,
the way
they don't understand who they
you're
have.
supposed to do
You're
it,
interrupting
idiot.
me. I am trying to
Idiot.
get your back. I'm
Idiot.
trying to...
The other really big head scratcher is why Bill Burr was not included. Being a Boston guy and a huge Patriots fan, it seemed like an obvious choice. Other notable non-invited guests include Eli Manning, Big Dick Nick, and even Dave Portnoy. And speaking of gaping holes, Kim Kardashian getting booed right off the bat was hilarious. I think everyone was rolling their eyes when she got up to speak, but I guess having her there was all worth it just for this moment in the end.
Kim, word of advice, close your legs. You have more public beef than Kendrick and Drake.
Tom Brady had some great jokes during his rebuttals, but also had a lot of moments that just came off as drunkenly stroking his own ego. For NFL fans, all of these jokes were wild to hear. It was unbelievable how much everyone bought into the true concept of a roast, openly joking about all the Patriots cheating scandals, trashing the legacies of Hall of Famers, constantly bringing up Aaron Hernandez murders and suicide, topics that none of these guys have touched in real life. The roast of Tom Brady oddly put on display what's so beautiful about comedy in the first place. If these guys were quoted saying anything even remotely close to this kind of stuff in normal life, it would be trending for weeks online and would become the obsession of every sports debate show in America. But in the comedic environment of a roast, even people who aren't huge comedy fans can clearly recognize the point of saying wild shit solely for humor's sake, which we'll hear more about after this quick word from today's sponsor. When it comes to the world of breaking bad habits, nothing feels worse than going cold turkey. Luckily, Fume is changing the game. If you're a fan of comedians and their podcasts, odds are you've heard about Fume, the award-winning flavored air device that uses air and delicious flavors instead of vapor and harmful chemicals. A completely natural and easy way to replace your bad habit. The new Solano Fume is one of my favorites because of the premium walnut barrel. Plus, every Fume comes with an adjustable airflow dial and is designed to have movable parts and magnets for fidgeting in case you ever get bored. But the real kicker has to be Fume's fresh flavors and pristine smells. To get on the good habit bandwagon, go to tryfume.com/WRLD, and our subscribers can get 10% off with code WRLD to help starting the good habit that much easier. Now back to the video. This live stream was incredible. I can't wait to see where Netflix takes the future of roasting. Maybe they'll even invest into the roast league. But either way, it would be awesome if in 10 or 20 years we get another GOAT roast whenever LeBron finally retires.
Boom. Roasted.
Guest spots from last week. The Joe Rogan Experience had on Tulsi Gabbard, Chrissy D, and Colin Quinn. Two Bears, One Cave had Dr. Phil on the show. Kill Tony this week was with Daniel Van Kirk. Ian Fidance came all over your mom's house. We Might Be Drunk celebrated Cinco de Mayo with Brad Williams and a mariachi band. Brad Williams and Colin Terrell joined the Legion of Skanks. Matt and Shane, Stuff Island, Are You Garbage, Flagrant, Bad Friends, and The Tim Dillon Show all did not have guests. Adam Friedland Show welcomed Dan Soder. And Preacher Lawson was on Whiskey Ginger.
You talked to him?
My dad?
Yeah.
No, I don't know what he looks like.
So she got pregnant, moved to Oregon without him.
I think she got pregnant outside of Oregon. I think she got pregnant outside because he's in the military.
Right.
So
you were kind of a military kid, whether you know it or not.
Yeah, I guess I was a military
Could you apply
kid.
for USAA and still get it?
I don't
know my dad, but I do know he served.
I know, right? Yeah. I didn't think about that, you know?
Do you have no communication with him?
I don't know what he looks like. I've never
Do you have any desire to?
No, it's too late now.
Yeah,
I did when I was younger. I really wanted to when I was younger. And then I got to around, even when I first got on America's Got Talent, I was like, oh, he's going to, because this is such a major show, I was like, he's going to see it.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure he knows my name is Preacher. So unless he's dead, he knows I exist and is too embarrassed to talk. I get it. What's the point? What are you gonna tell me?
Yeah.
What are you gonna teach me? It's too late now.
Well, what if he just says I'm proud of you and that's it? What if he just wants to connect
Man,
and say
get
I'm
out
proud
my
of you?
face with that, bro. Are you kidding me? My fans are proud of me. Get out of here, man.
This past weekend with Theo Vaughn talked with Celeste Barber. Ari Shafir, Ian Finance, and Rob Cruz stopped by the Real Ass Podcast. Mike Racine was on Soder. Taste Buds battled Mom vs. Grandma. Duncan Trussell took a wild ride with Steve-O. Chad Daniels was on the way back. Stavi's World welcomed Mary Faustin and Derek Gaines. Neil Brennan was the guest on Tiger Belly. The Blocks Podcast had on Jerry Seinfeld. First Date featured Paul Scheer. Michael Rosenbaum made it weird with Pete Holmes. Rick Glassman had Reggie Watts take his shoes off. B and Ian with Jordan welcomed Kalila Kuhn. And we interviewed Josh Johnson right here on Joke World. As far as new stand-up comedy specials that are either out right now or coming out soon, Colin Quinn's must-watch new special is out right now on YouTube titled Our Time Is Up and was uniquely filmed at a psychiatrist convention, which gives it a really fun angle. Cat Williams' Woke Folk came out on Netflix last weekend after being live streamed on Saturday, May 4th. When it comes to YouTube, we have Ian Fidance, Wild, Happy, and Free out right now on the B and Ian with Jordan channel, Adam Ray's new 45-minute crowdwork special, Bigfoot and Cigarettes, out on his channel, and out on Netflix is Jimmy Carr, Natural Born Killer, and Neil Brennan, Crazy Good. There's also a few specials in the works right now that will be coming out very soon. Starting off with Nikki Glazer's new special, Someday You'll Die, which comes out on Max, and should do very well after her outstanding roast performance. That same day, Kevin Hart will be accepting the Mark Twain Award on Netflix in a ceremony that will feature some all-time great comics like Dave Chappelle and Jerry Seinfeld. We also have two big specials coming out at the end of the month from Franco Escamilla and Rachel Feinstein, and not technically a special, but mark your calendars for Thursday, May 23rd if you want to see the premiere of Tires, Etc., a 6-episode comedy series starring Shane Gillis, Tommy Pope, Chris O'Connor, and more. If you're planning on watching Tires when it comes out in 2 weeks, leave a comment on this video with a rating of how excited you are on a scale of 1 to 25, and include decimals. We'll be sure to make a video covering the entire release of Tires, so hit subscribe right now if you don't want to miss that. And speaking of subscribing, feel free to check out our second channel, Clip World, for even more content keeping you in the comedy loop. We're currently in the process of building up Clip World, so if you're not doing anything after this video, if you're not busy right now, I'd really appreciate you clicking a few extra buttons to help us out. But if that's asking too much too fast, I understand. Thank you at least for watching this video, and we'll be back again next week with some more comedy news. Also, check out our interview with Josh Johnson. It's gonna be on the end screen right after this.
At Joke World. That's it, at Joke World.
And the world is WRLD.
That's a great YouTube channel, Joke World. Check it out.